Hi, my name is Spencer, and today I'll be reacting to Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 4, Episode 10. This is the season finale, so as usual, I will talk about the season as a whole once I've finished talking about this episode specifically. Also, I will be keeping an eye out for a post-credit scene, because it has been done before, so I'm prepared. Last time on Star Trek Lower Decks, the Cerritos was tasked to locate one of a handful of missing former Starfleet members, and they were specifically tasked to find Nick Locarno, who, as we know, student at the Academy with Wesley Crusher and Sito Jaxa, and was responsible for the death of a classmate because he was trying to complete a fancy flying maneuver in space. Mariner, Boimler, T'Lyn, and Tendi were tasked separately to go to a planet to check on a malfunctioning device that was in orbit. I don't remember what the device did, which was supposed to be sort of a mundane, boring mission. But it turned out that, coincidentally, that the captains and first officers of the ships that had been disappearing were stranded on this planet. And after getting attacked by some Klingons, they transported down to the planet and found these captains and first officers. Mariner opened up to the Klingon captain about her friend Sito in the Academy, which was her reasoning for not wanting to rank up and to not see her friends get killed under her orders. And that was a fun connection to the Next Generation. Mariner got beamed away by Nick Locarno, who was revealed to be the antagonist of the season, who was kidnapping these ships, shipnapping these ships, and for some reason stranding these captains and first officers on this planet. We don't really know what his motives are yet. I'm assuming that's what we're going to find out in this next episode. But Mariner was beamed to his ship, and Boimler, T'Lyn, and Tendi, along with the first officers and captains, were able to make their way back onto the Klingon ship and regain control for the time. Captain Freeman, Shax, Rutherford, and Billups were able to track information about Nick Locarno and found out that he was the person that they're looking for, not necessarily to rescue him, but that he is the one that has been causing these ships to go missing. So I'm curious where they're going to go from there. And that's pretty much the gist of last episode. As for this episode, I expect we will hopefully get an answer as to why Nick Locarno is doing this, why he has taken Mariner. It's probably, she has a connection to Sito in the Academy, so it makes sense that she would have a connection to Nick in the Academy as well, possibly Wesley Crusher. So we're probably going to get more of a reveal of that connection between her and Nick. I'm curious to see what Boimler, T'Lyn, and Tendi do on this Klingon vessel with the captains and first officers, and how they're going to pursue Nick and Mariner. I hope to see Mariner's character growth continue. It would make sense that she would not go along with Nick's plan unless she's trying to mess with it, like trying to play him in some way. We also have to see what Captain Freeman and her away party are going to do now that they've figured out that it's Nick. And I don't know, maybe they'll meet up with Boimler and T'Lyn and Tendi, and they'll team up and work together. But yeah, I think those are my expectations for this episode. Like I said, there could be a post-credit scene setting up for the next season, because there is going to be a next season. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens here. But before I get into this episode, don't forget to like this video if you like it. And if you have anything to say about this episode or the previous episodes, please put it in the comments. Also, if you're not currently subscribed, but you like this kind of content, I would appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. It really helps me to stay motivated to get these videos out and helps the channel to grow. And I do plan on reacting to more Lower Decks as it comes out in the future. Also Prodigy, when Season 2 releases on Netflix next year. And yeah. Anyways, I think I've put off this episode for long enough, so I will go ahead and get this episode started. Starfleet Academy. Okay, it's a flashback.
The Starburst maneuver's banned for a reason. We'd be...
Nice.
You're already a legend.
I really hope they got the voice of, like, actual Sito to do the voice, you know?
Wes knows. He's lived it.
I wasn't a nobody. I don't know about this whole Starburst thing. Josh, are you sure?
Oh, come on.
And, Will Wheaton, of course.
That's what you pulled off.
Hey, Sito!
Uh-oh, Jaxa, your fan club spotted us.
Sito!
Oh, baby Mariner.
Don't listen to him. You sound just like me when I was a first year.
Love the cameos here.
What kind of surprise?
Supposedly something that will make us all legends. But I'll bet the only name it.
Legends in the wrong way.
You were practically a junior member of Nova Squadron. We're back.
Yeah, he seems
We're Nova Fleet.
kind of desperate. Oh, interesting. He's creating his own fleet? For what reason? What's his end game? Is he trying to go against Starfleet in some way? I don't understand. I guess he found enough like-minded people, though.
We now have indisputable evidence that Nicholas Locarno has been behind all the attacks on non-Federation ships. If we did something that injured a Klingon or a Romulan...
They turned their backs on their worlds when they moved against their captains.
In bloodless coups. We can't be the first to open fire. No.
I mean, technically the Ferengi are part of the Federation now, right? Maybe it's just sort of a provisional thing for now. I don't remember if that was the case.
I can't tell you how much of a game changer it is to have a Starfleet officer join our cause.
So presumptuous.
Admiral's daughter defected.
Haha, hell yeah. Let's stick it to those chumps.
Yeah, she's trying to play along.
How do I look?
Confident, but, you know, like in a creepy way.
Perfect. That's what I'm going for.
That's what I'm going for. That's funny.
Hello, Alpha Quadrant. Independent Captain Nick Locarno here with a message for anyone who feels like an afterthought.
He looks like Tom Paris.
Yes! I'm so glad someone acknowledged it in the show. I was really hoping for it.
Totally independent, unaligned fleet in the Alpha Quadrant.
The Maquis would like a word.
If you're join us in the Detrion system.
They have like the same face. They're identical.
No, I just don't see it.
I just don't see it. That's so funny.
Clearly, his emotional behavior conflicts with his culpability.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
Saying it like it is. Love to Anna.
Those can rewrite the atomic composition of entire worlds.
He can wipe out life on any planet he chooses.
The man has lost his mind.
Yep.
Speaking of, I have an officer here who knows how to speak truth to power. Beckett, care to tell them what Starfleet's real...
Oh, well. I mean, she still hasn't verbally agreed to any of this to you.
For all you lower deckers out there. This guy sucks!
What?
He's an idiot and his plan is stupid. He's gonna get you all killed because he only cares about himself.
Love that.
Transmission!
That a girl.
I love that.
If we survive, the court-martial is...
Goodgie.
I'm with you, Captain.
We all are.
Let's shit up.
You know I'm with you.
I believe the only
She starts getting transmissions that are like, hey, I'm not sure about this. That'd be really funny. Oh, I guess everyone's down. That's fine. I think it'd just be funny if there was like someone that was like, Captain, I'm not sure about this.
Beckett, you just made us look like a joke in front of the Quadrant.
Kind of my entire plan.
Yeah, that was her intent.
Computer, cycle airlock. All right, you are my...
Is this the ship that he used in the Academy?
07.2.
welcome, Captain Carol Freeman.
Yes.
Oh. That's so funny. Okay, it's probably not then.
But wouldn't you like to embarrass Starfleet with a show of strength? We're here against orders. Helping us will make them look weak.
I like Tendi here.
We'll have to find another...
I demand barter by combat!
Interesting. I'm down for this.
Computer, what the hell?
Proximity alert.
Huh?
Oh,
Huh? Is that a Q thing?
Shields at 90%.
It looks like a...
Trinar shield works both ways.
Oh, okay. It's the Trinar shield. I thought it was... Because it looked like the Q shield thing from Encounter at Farpoint.
But if you lose, your captain will surrender the Cerritos to me.
I mean, it's... I feel like that's worth the risk.
She's like a Shax and a half. Are you sure we have anyone who can take her?
Oh yeah, we've got this.
Who's she gonna pick? Miggly Moo?
Dr. Miglimo.
Yeah. Saw that coming. I mean, he was the least likely choice, you know? So, it had to be.
The human has target lock.
what are you guys doing working for a jerk like Locarno? He doesn't care about...
She's gonna try to turn them against him.
Computer, vent coolant vapor. sniper!
It's really cool to see Mariner, like, take action like this, you know? Get things done. Just launch the Genesis device on this planet here. I mean, you don't know if there's anyone living there, so could be probably not worth the risk, but at least it would get rid of it.
I have to start over with a new therapist, aren't I?
Poor Miglimo.
Fluff, you're down!
It's embarrassing!
Just fluff it!
Just fluff it. Oh, allergies.
Oh, accept my flappity fisticuffs, you foul fiend! Gah, gah.
Ew. Nasty.
The champion of barter by combat is BF. Somebody get her inhaler. A deal's a deal, Captain.
Well, didn't count on her falling on him.
I have something you want more than the Cerritos.
I'm a pie,
What could it be?
but I want more than a ship.
Me.
Tendi.
If you give us a battleship, I'll come back.
No! Tendi, you can't...
Silence! Having you back.
Well,
The Cerritos is not measly. She is the gem of the California.
I mean, he's pretty jacked, so.
I expect you to return here even if you fail to save your friend.
We won't.
Okay, we'll see where this goes. Maybe that'll be like the plot of next season is trying to get Tendi back.
Computer, are there any lifeless planets in this system?
Detrion 9 is incapable of supporting life.
Oh, sounds like a party.
Okay, she is trying to get rid of it that way. They were waiting. I'm sure if you launch it, though, they could probably, like, beam it up or tractor it or something before it hits the planet.
We don't have months!
Don't worry, Captain. I've got my best team working on it.
Too bad there's no tech Genesis device.
Assemble the warp drive, not to mention the conduits.
Who cares about the conduits, Livik?
Livik. Love the competition.
I believe I can facilitate that.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh! Are you gonna do a mind meld?
Something less invasive.
I love that he just jumped straight to mind meld. Oh, of course.
You know what you're talking about, Mr. Livik.
And you,
I love that this just works for them.
my genteel friend.
I do declare, we've settled upon a compromise.
Why does this work?
We're all asking that question.
It's beautiful.
Fantastic.
This Locarno's given us the freedom to scheme at our leisure.
Oh, so you need a human for your scheming? How you...
I love that she's trying to turn them against him.
It may be hard for you to believe, but we are a coalition of equals. One that has you surrounded.
What if she launched it like a torpedo at Nick Locarno? Wouldn't that destroy his ship?
I'm sorry, are you giving me an order?
There we go.
If my stupid professors had just let us practice.
Josh died because of your ego, man!
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Oof. Getting under his skin.
We only get one shot. Are you ready, acting captain?
I've got this.
Nice. Let's go. Acting Captain Boimler. Perfect.
Who the hell are you?
Acting Captain Bradward Boimler, sir.
Turn that ship around.
I love his confidence.
First, I have to rescue my friend.
You can't get through that shield.
I'm not. Captain Freeman is.
What?
Love the cinematic music. It's fantastic.
Now!
Huh. Nice. This is like straight up the music from the movie episodes, the holodeck movie episodes.
Damn Binars.
Then you can stay here on your own.
Well, sucks to suck.
Please. I graduated top of my class. You think I don't know how to disarm a bomb?
First off, you didn't graduate.
Yeah, I was about to say he didn't graduate.
I'm not moving, Nick.
Then you're a fool.
Well, Well, she stood her ground. Nice.
Nick, please, come with us.
Mirror up with sails unfurled.
We're out of time.
Please, Nick.
Full impulse, now.
Well, I don't know if you can get through to him.
Ah! Next time, set a shorter timer.
To deactivate detonation, please insert 2 bars of platinum.
They put a paywall on a bomb? Stupid.
Of course they did. That's so funny. But also, kind of sad that he's gone. If that's how he died. I'm assuming there's no coming back from that. Damn.
But you managed to open diplomatic relations with the Orions for the first time. Everyone at command is pleased.
Nice.
Oh, now we have to deal with the new M-class planet that formed when the Genesis device exploded.
Is it stable?
Seems so. We're calling it Locarno, because his atoms were included in the transmogrification of the nebula. We hope to use the planet some...
I mean, he's become a legend in some other way.
I'm sorry.
Apology not accepted, because we're here for you no matter what.
I love Tendi.
Okay, everybody shut up, me included. Let's get drunk.
Oh, thank God. There you are.
Livik. No. Only when we're twaining.
Makes sense.
Someone's got Captain Fever.
Oh, do I sound captainy to you? Because Ransom was very happy with my captaining.
I like how...
I love it.
I think this is really working for you. This is a good look. You should tell my mom you want Captain.
Is she gonna get her old...
Who was that? My former commander.
Oh, never mind.
But instead, I prefer to focus my time on becoming your science bestie. Say anything I do not mean.
I love Talin.
Chant lower decks.
I don't know. We kind of do it a lot.
Oh, come on. It's my favorite.
Okay, fine.
Lower decks! Lower decks!
Huh? What's happening here? Are they here to pick up Tendi?
Lieutenant.
Yeah.
You've been requested to return.
That's the lieutenant they were talking about.
Already?
Derica doesn't waste any time.
In the spirit of being a pirate, perhaps you should simply refuse to go.
Fair point. Okay, well. Still have next season to get her back. Unless something happens by the end of this episode.
You've got this.
She seems cooler with it than I was expecting. I mean, I'm down to see her be badass. Okay, that's it. Oh, yep, yep. Love that. Got them all back. Guess that's it. Good episode. I enjoyed seeing the resolution of all this. It was really nice to see the flashback of Sito and Wesley and Nick and Mariner, of course. I'm assuming that other guy was the one that died in the maneuver, because I'm pretty sure the last person that was in the trial was also female, but I could be mistaken. But yeah, it was lovely to get the voice cameos. I'm sure Will Wheaton is always down to make an appearance, always ready at the drop of a hat. But the fact that they got Shannon Phil, the fact that they got her back is just fantastic. Mwah. I liked that they called back a bunch from the earlier episodes of the season with Tendi's sister, Orion, the Twains, Rutherford's rivalry with that other officer. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. I'm a little sad we didn't get to see more of the Klingon captain. Dang, what was his name? And I may mispronounce it because I'm going to be reading it off of IMDb. Ma'a. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It would have been nice to see him again, but I don't know. He's still alive, so there's always the possibility of that in the future. I don't know. There was a moment where Mariner was talking to Nick and basically saying Sito wouldn't have wanted this. Sito died to defend Starfleet's values, and like I know she had that whole turning point in the last episode, but it also kind of felt like a 180. That was a quick turnaround for her. I don't hate it. It was just like whoa, kind of caught me off guard there. But I did really appreciate her trying to turn Nick's people against him, the people that he had recruited, which I guess in the end it worked. He was his own undoing. And yeah, I'm sure that's the last we'll see of Nick Locarno. How interesting an ending for him, you know? Basically becoming a planet in some way. Maybe that's not the right verbiage. I don't know. But I did really think it was hilarious that there was a paywall on the Genesis device. Oh, that was so funny. Good stuff. I loved Rutherford being like, he looks just like Tom Paris. I was hoping someone would do that when they revealed that he would be in last episode, like when they first name dropped him. I was like, ooh, I really hope that someone's like, oh, he looks just like Tom Paris. So I'm glad they threw that in there. And then Boimler being like, I don't see it. Especially with Boimler being such a big Tom Paris fan. Loved the cinematic music again in this episode. Like I said, it's the same Lower Decks cinematic music that's been in the last 2 holodeck movie episodes. So I enjoy that. But even outside that, the cinematic music was pretty great. Like I said in the last episode, it really helps me to get into that sort of more serious mindset of an episode rather than the more casual comedic nature of Lower Decks. I loved seeing acting Captain Boimler. Perfection, man. So good. And I love his confidence. He's really grown a lot since season 1. And I loved seeing him take charge and just, I don't know, he the confidence was great. I was kind of hoping that, and I guess kind of going back on my shipping of him and T'Lyn, I was kind of hoping that T'Lyn would be like, whew, damn. I mean, obviously, in a Vulcan way, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I was hoping that she'd be like, you know, I see you, Boimler. There's always next season though. She'll be back. We know that for sure. But yeah, I loved it. I loved seeing Captain Boimler. A taste of what could potentially be someday. Will probably be someday. I hate that Tendi is gone, but I'm still of the mindset that she will return pretty early on in the next season. I don't know how or why, but I'm pretty confident that that's going to happen. I could be wrong though. It was, I don't know. Like I said, I was surprised to see how okay she was at the end there with stepping back into Mistress of the Winter Constellation, into that title, with her like, I don't know, making that badass face, just like, yeah, let's do this. I do hope we get to see some of that in the next season. Maybe it will, before she returns to the Cerritos, if that ends up being if that is the case, maybe we'll see some of her journey back as an Orion pirate. We'll see. I'm curious. I love that T'Lyn decided to ignore her former captain to stay on the Cerritos, although, I mean, her reasoning was to become Tendi's science bestie, but Tendi's gone now, so does she know something that we don't? Do she and Tendi have a plan? I mean, I don't think they've thought that far ahead, but still, I was just like, but isn't she leaving when she said that? I was like, okay, can't really become a science bestie if you're not there, Tendi. I'm sad for Rutherford, for Tendi leaving. I love him and Tendi's friendship. I wish they would full on accept their romance, but I don't know. I do appreciate what they have, and I like that I like where they're at. I don't think it necessarily has to be romantic or sexual. I don't know. I wanna say I was watching the Trek Culture's Ups and Downs for the episode that we were, like, the Ferengi episode where they were teasing Rutherford and Tendi, and I don't know, Sean seemed to imply that they're not just friends, that they're actually boning, but they don't like the label, and that's the problem. But I don't know. I don't see it that way. I think the joke with them at the end of that episode of them like laying on top of each other inside the duct, I don't know what duct it was, but it was a duct, was just a joke as to like, oh, like they're actually really comfortable with each other like this. I just thought that was part of the joke. I don't think they're actually like sexually involved outside of their friendship or inside of their friendship. I don't know what I'm trying to say there with that, but I'm sad for Rutherford, and I don't know. I hope they'll keep in touch. I don't know how much she'll be able to as Mistress of the Winter Constellation in that job role. I guess we'll find out in a while, because it'll probably be a while before season 5 comes out. Well, if there's anything else about this episode specifically that I can think of while I'm talking about the season as a whole, I'll insert it. But I'd like to sort of get into my thoughts about the season. This season was a lot of fun. I may have to remind myself of some of the things that happened. I think I'll go through each episode and, I don't know, have sort of a retrospective sort of thing. Episode 1, Tuvix, a lot of fun. Loved the Voyager references. Loved the Tuvixing of everyone not everyone, obviously, on the Cerritos. Episode 2, I have no bones to get, I must flee. That one was fun for, I don't know, establishing Rutherford's rivalry with that other ensign, and Moopsie, of course. The Menage. Episode 3 was when Boimler died and then was brought back to life. And that was a good T'Lyn episode as well. Then we had the Orion episode. Enjoyed that one a lot. I don't know. Was that my favorite still? I'll come back to that. Then we had the Betazoids, which, as always, is fun. Then we had the Ferengis with Rom and Lita returning, which was fantastic. Loved them. Along with the fun Rutherford and Tendi story of them being put into romantic situations and struggling with it, even though we know that they really do care about each other and have feelings for each other. Next was the Badgy episode. Had sort of a fake out for that and the season plot, but in the end, I enjoyed seeing Badgy's ascension. I thought that was really funny, and I love that they always call back the koala, and especially with the ascension and whatnot. Next was the Caves episode, which, like I said, probably my least favorite of the season, just because, I don't know, I don't like the format. It wasn't a bad episode by any means. It just didn't do it for me. Still, it was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the stories that were told. I don't care for the bottle episode format, but I do appreciate the satire of cave episodes, and I don't know, joking about how TV shows do these sorts of episodes in order to save money, which is extra funny because they probably didn't save any money in terms of an animated episode with this. So I can appreciate the satire, the irony. After that, we had the penultimate episode, which was setting up for this episode I just watched, which I enjoyed a lot. I loved the connections to the Next Generation with Nick Locarno and Mariner's connection to Sito. I don't know. I really appreciate how Lower Decks can take a plot point that we thought we'd never see again from a previous Trek show and build on that in a way that's, I mean, usually in Lower Decks it's for comedy purposes or whatever, but I really appreciate what they did here with Nick Locarno and Sito, creating a meaningful connection to a past Star Trek, and really paying homage to what's come before. It's just good stuff. I really did enjoy this season. I'm sad that it's already over. I do understand that since Lower Decks is made for streaming and rather than for television, that we get less episodes than something like Prodigy, which is also animated, so you would think that they could potentially do more. And like, I don't know, from my point of view, you would think that 3D animation is harder or more, that there's more to it to do a 3D animated show than doing this sort of 2D animation. That being said, I have no idea what is more complicated to do, what is more taxing for animators. So I don't speak with any authority on that. That's just based on, like, I don't know. I've experienced programming like 2D games for my calculator, but when it comes to like 3D stuff, that is like way beyond my mental capabilities. So I'm just basing it off of that. But I don't know. I mean, they probably have like similar budgets, but still, it's. I understand that this show is made for streaming, so they only give us a limited amount of episodes, which sucks, but it's okay. I really enjoyed what they did this season in terms of development for Mariner, especially because she, even if she was doing better by the end of last season, there was always still this need for her to be demoted or a lower rank. And I'm just so glad that we're finally past that, or at least it seems that way. Hopefully they don't bring her back to that point in the future. But I can't see them doing that, especially with how this season resolved it. Like I said, I loved her reasoning being that she doesn't want to endanger her friends who are under her command. Because, I mean, let's face it, if you're a captain of a Starfleet ship, you're going to be friends with the crew. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you try to separate yourself. You're like, what comes to mind is Captain Shaw in Picard, where he seemed very cold to Seven. I mean, he was very cold to Seven early on in Picard season 3, but things warmed up, and we as a Trek fandom community really grew to love Shaw. So there's really no avoiding Captain becoming a friend to their crew members. So it makes a lot of sense that Mariner would be afraid of commanding her friends into deadly situations. Another thing I will say about this episode is I was kind of worried that they would retcon Sito's death. I'm glad they didn't, because I feel like it would have made things a lot less impactful for Mariner, but also for the aftermath of things in Next Generation when that happened. I enjoyed that this season they got promoted. I was kind of worried that they would backtrack that in order to keep them literally in the lower decks of the Cerritos to, I don't know, keep the namesake of the show. But I'm glad that they didn't. And now with the season being over, it feels like a silly notion that they would do that. And I'm glad that we're just keeping focus on the crew members that we've come to know and love that originated in the lower decks, which, I mean, everyone in Starfleet originates in the lower decks. But even if they're not technically in the lower decks, they're lower deckers for life. And I loved that I don't remember if they actually chanted or if they were about to chant and then they got interrupted. No, they chanted. I liked that they ended before Tendi left with a lower decks chant. Those are always nice moments for them. And it reminds me of the cave episode of them being mad at Mariner for chanting with the Delta shift. I loved Ransom this season. His support of Mariner was great. And I don't know, maybe the perspective is changing because they're not ensigns anymore. And now that they're lieutenants, junior grade lieutenants, maybe we are seeing a different perspective rather than the really cocky, obnoxious bridge crew. We're getting competent, taken seriously crew members, and I'm really enjoying that. They've done a good job this season separating us from that mindset, I believe, or at least I'm of that point of view. I loved having T'Lyn this season. She's been a treat this whole time. I do still ship her with Boimler, like I mentioned earlier. So maybe I don't know. It's possible it's possible they haven't, like, the writers of the show are not even considering a romance for Boimler or T'Lyn, but a boy can dream. And there's always next season and potentially future seasons if they keep getting renewed, which hopefully. But I loved T'Lyn this season. I really loved what she added to the group in the episodes that she was in. There were like a handful of episodes that she wasn't in, which was disappointing. But I don't know. Hopefully she'll be an even bigger part in the next season. I don't know. I hope that she is legitimately made like a main character, like her. Like, I mean, I wasn't paying attention in this episode, the title sequence, but it would be nice if Gabrielle Ruiz, I think that's her name. I think that's the voice actress's name. I hope that she is in the main title sequence going forward, and that T'Lyn is like bumped up to main character status, because she already is in my heart. But yeah, I mean, I really hope that we'll continue to get a lot of good stuff from her in the future. I liked that we got a bookend for Badgy this season, and we still have Goodgy, so we could potentially see more of that in the future, and we'll see if that continues to stay good G. But I don't know. I thought it was a good bookend for Badgy, and I'm glad that we're kind of done with that for now. But I don't know. I appreciate that Badgy has been sort of a staple of Lower Decks for a while, and I'm sure we'll continue to get some with Goodgy. This season was really good for cameos. Just this last episode was a lot. Even if they did reveal Nick Locarno in the last episode, it was still fantastic to get all three, Robert Duncan McNeil, Shannon Phil, and Will Wheaton, to reprise their roles. Just fantastic. And then earlier in the season, we got Ram and Lita, which was fantastic. I always love seeing them, or love hearing their voices, and I would say that's probably my top cameo of this. Those being my top cameos of the season, which is nothing against the ones from this past episode. It was just, I love Deep Space Nine so much, and I love Ram and Lita, so it was just so good to have them back. As for favorite episode, I really loved the Orion episode. It was a lot of fun. We got a good amount of T'Lyn, but we also got to see badass Tendi. But also the Ram and Lita episode with Tendi and Rutherford. Actually, I don't know. Just because they teased us and it didn't work out, I'm going to say that one's not my favorite episode. But definitely a close second to the Orion episode, which I will officially declare as my favorite episode of season 4. But all the episodes of the season were pretty great, so it's hard to complain. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments. Let me know what you thought about the season as a whole. What was your favorite episode? What did you think of this episode? And how it all concluded? What do you think of Nick Locarno's fate? And yeah, I think that's all I have to say for this season. Like I said, sad that it's ending so soon. However, there is more to come, so I am looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are as well. I do plan on reacting to that when it does release in the future, whenever that may be, along with also Prodigy Season 2 when that releases on Netflix, like I said, and Strange New Worlds when that returns eventually, which will probably be a while. With the actor strike still going on, I'd rather wait and have the actors get a good, better deal, fair deal. I don't think it'd be fair for me to be greedy and be like, please give me more episodes of Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks. I think Lower Decks can continue. I don't think voice work is struck, but I could be mistaken. I don't claim to be super knowledgeable in that situation, but it's been nice to see various Trek alumni in support of the strike on Twitter, and just seeing everyone come together for it. So I really hope that they end up getting a good deal. But the point I'm trying to make is, eventually when Strange New Worlds does come out, I do plan on reacting to that. But anyways, thank you guys for joining me this season. It was a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun as well. I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you. Those of you who have stuck around since last season when I started posting reactions to Lower Decks. And those of you who have just joined, I appreciate you guys as well. I don't know if I will end up reaching my goal of 1,000 followers by the end of the year. It would be nice, but if not, I appreciate you guys regardless. But with this being the end of the season, it might be a little bit of time before we see each other again. Hopefully maybe you'll be interested in some of the other reactions I end up posting on the channel. But in the meantime, hopefully I will see you guys around.